Well, it is indeed a great honor to have you join us this Thursday evening, the last day of November, as we tell you the key highlights of today's news. And later on, we'll also be discussing about the film contribution to economic growth. That conversation we will be having with Timothy Owase, the CEO of Kenya Film Commission. That more and much more later on with business, and later Daniel Wahome with the sports. Tonight, let's take a look at the highlights.
Tunaongeza limit ya pesa ile unaweza kukopa kwa Hustler Fund.
The Magical Fund. President Ruto illustrates the multiple benefits of the Hustler Fund 1 year after rollout. More of a movie than drama. Gunshots rent the air as EACC detectives arrest bribe-taking traffic police officers in Mai Mahiu.
A total of 16 deaths have been reported, raising the death toll to 136.
And 16 deaths attributed to El Nino floods recorded in the past 24 hours. Well, thank you for joining us. And we are live on YouTube and Facebook and on Twitter at KBC Channel 1, and you can tweet me at Carol W. Njenga. Let's now go right into it. You can withdraw your Hustler Fund savings if you borrowed more than 5 times. President William Ruto, speaking during the 1-year anniversary of the Hustler Fund, says the government will also match savings by 50%. The president says the fund has been enhanced to empower small business owners to borrow and save by increasing its limit, among other enhanced features, learning from the success of and demand by more than 7.7 million active borrowers.
Uweze kupata mikopo kwa urahisi, uweze kutimiza.
Also known as the Financial Inclusion Fund, the Hustler Fund has disbursed 39.5 billion shillings, with 28 billion shillings already paid back.
Lakini hawa mahasla ni watu ya ajabu, wanaendelea kulipa, tunawapongeza. Because hawa ni watu waangwana, ni waaminifu. Ni vile tu walikuwa wamekosa nafasi. Lakini wakishapata usaidizi ni watu waangwana na wanaendelea kulipa, and we encourage them to continue.
The fund has also netted an estimated 2 billion shillings in savings from loyal 7.5 million repeat Hustler Fund borrowers.
Kupitia usaidizi ya Wizara ya Fedha, serikali yako imetupatia pesa, na mpaka wakati huu tumekopesha zaidi ya bilioni 38 kwa hao mahasla.
In the newly improved scheme, 1.2 million Kenyans will have their limits increased, with those that have borrowed more than 10 times having their limits increased by 100%. Those who have borrowed between 5 to 10 times will have their limits increased by 60%, while the group of Kenyans who have borrowed between 5 to 10 times will have their limits increased by 60%, while the group of Kenyans who have borrowed between 2 and 5 times will have their limits increased by 40%.
Yule limit yake ni 5,000 itasonga kuwa 10,000. Yule limit yake ni 10,000 itasonga kwenda 20,000. Hivyo ndivyo itakavyoendelea kutokea leo.
Other goodies for borrowers include withdrawal options of up to 30%, while 70% goes to long-term savings. This comes as Kenyans asked for a withdrawal facility for their savings amounting to thousands of shillings in their accounts. However, the state indicated that it will improve savings if you don't withdraw after 1 month by awarding you a 12% interest on the savings.
Leo mtakuwa na nafasi. Ile savings yako 30% ya your savings unaweza kuchukua leo uende ufanye naye biashara yako ingine. You can withdraw 30% of your savings today.
Borrowers will receive information on their increased loan limits online. The president was speaking at the first anniversary celebrations of the Hustlers Fund. He added that the Hustler Fund helped repair the credit rating of over 7 million Kenyans who had previously been blacklisted by the Credit Rating Bureau system.
With the Financial Inclusion Fund, aka the Hustler Fund, given new features, the hustler is now given an option either to save or to consume their savings. However, remember, the savings attract a 12% interest after every 1 month. Alanoko, Prime Edition.
Now, 3 police officers are in custody following a dramatic arrest by detectives from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission along the Mai-Mahiu Road in Naivasha, Nakuru County. One of the police officers, however, managed to escape arrest after he shot at the EACC sleuths. Now, the Anti-graft CEO, Twali Mbarak, says they are actively pursuing him. Here is our reporter, Abdiaziz Hashim, with details of how the officers appeared to have been caught with their hands in the cookie jar.
Traffic flowed freely along the Mai-Mahiu Road near Karangita Junction in Naivasha. Traffic police officers can be seen occasionally flagging down vehicles, inspecting them and waving the drivers on. As fate will have it, Thursday morning will mark the proverbial 40th day for these officers. They are alleged to have ditched their role of protector to that of the perpetrator of injustice by demanding bribes from motorists. A trade they appear to have perfected. For instance, take this police officer. After flagging down this public service vehicle, he appears to be inspecting its roadworthiness. However, it appears to be a ruse, as his true intentions quickly manifest. According to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, this has been the norm along the highway. Officers reaping where they did not sow in what appears to be a well-organized criminal enterprise. For the last 3 months, sleuths from the Integrity Center have patiently watched and waited to gather enough evidence before pouncing. And when they pounced, it was like a scene from an action-packed movie. The first officer, armed with a rifle, was subdued and the detectives identified themselves. The EACC detectives crossed the road to arrest one other officer. However, he had no plans to surrender. The sound of gunfire could be heard as he shot at the detectives, causing panic before he fled the scene. He is now a fugitive, even as his colleagues were arrested and driven to EACC headquarters in Nairobi for interrogation. EACC CEO Twali Mbarak says they will be charged with, among others, demanding bribes.
Where we managed to arrest 3 traffic police officers who were taking bribes along the road from motorists. One policeman managed to escape. He was armed and he tried to fire at our officers. Fortunately, there were no injuries, but he managed to escape.
The anti-graft boss further says he will engage the Inspector General of Police, Javed Kome, to re-examine the issuance of firearms to traffic police officers.
We are in communication with the IG, and the IG supports our operations, is that traffic policemen and policewomen should never be armed unless it is extremely necessary for their own safety.
EACC CEO Twali Mbarak has further stated he will work closely with the Inspector General of Police, that is Javed Kome, to rid corruption from the security sector in order to improve service delivery to the populace. Abdiaziz Hashim from the Integrity Center, Prime Edition.
Now, 16 deaths related to El Nino rains have been recorded in the past 24 hours, rising the total death toll to 136. Interior Permanent Secretary Raymond Omolo, while issuing the daily briefing on the state of floods in the country, also said cases of cholera outbreak have been reported in Lamu County, but the number of those affected is yet to be ascertained, as Joseph Wahungu tells us.
With the country still reeling from ravaging effects of flooding owing to ongoing El Nino rains, the government has Friday confirmed 16 more deaths Interior Permanent Secretary has also said 92,432 households remain displaced in several counties, including Migori, Kisumu, Kajiado, Taita Taveta, Kwale and Makueni.
A total of 16 deaths have been reported, raising the death toll to 136. The number of households displaced still remains at 92,432, comprising of slightly over 462,000 persons.
Omolo also confirmed an outbreak of cholera in Lamu County.
10 tons of assorted food items have since been airlifted to Wajir this morning. The Kenya Defence Forces has also airdropped food items at Chebaso in Isiolo County.
The government has in the meantime rehabilitated Katulo Elwak Road in Mandera County to hasten transportation of relief aid to areas affected by flooding.
We continue to urge wananchi to adhere to weather and flood alerts and take precaution so as not to risk injury or death through driving in flooded roads and crossing bulging rivers.
At the same time, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will from this Saturday lead a ministerial team in touring different parts of the country to assess flood impacts.
Sababu nyingine watasema kwa ground vitu ni different. Kwa hiyo watakuwa kule, utakuwa ukiona ratiba ambayo itaorodheshwa kupitia katika wizara ya mambo ya ndani. Kutokea sasa hivi tunakwenda mkutano ili tujue ni waziri yupi atakwenda wapi, ni namna hiyo, lakini tayari kama neti zinapelekwa kule Isiolo ili watu waweze kufaidi. Kwa hiyo
this as Makueni government has urged residents to scoop sand so as to allow water to get back to its path.
Na hata kwingine kama mahali tuko tukiangalia hiyo mchanga imeenda, hiyo changarawe imeenda mpaka imeingia kwa maboma za watu. Kwa hivyo tunataka tushirikiane na wananchi tuhakikishe tumesuluhisha hiyo tatizo.
For Prime Edition, I'm Joseph Wahungu.
The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation has been appointed as the free-to-air television and radio media right license for the Football Kenya Federation Premier League. Following the deal, Kenyans will watch 2 FKF Premier League matches exclusively on KBC and listen to the match broadcast across KBC's 13 radio stations.
After months of negotiations involving the State Department of Sport, the State Department of Broadcasting and Telecommunication, Football Kenya Federation and the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, Kenyans can now enjoy free-to-air broadcast of the FKF Premier League on radio and television. The 7-year deal is worth 190 million shillings per year, and KBC will have the rights to broadcast 2 matches on TV every weekend and have exclusive rights to broadcast all matches on radio. Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports Ababu Namwamba, who spearheaded the crafting of the deal, said he is happy that clubs will receive standard subventions and performance bonuses.
I wanted to squeeze as much as possible for clubs. Factor number 2, I want a prorated arrangement where a team gets something for the position they finish on the log. I mean, and I told you, Nick, and your team at FKF, that it must mean something to finish number 2.
The Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communications and the Digital Economy, Eliud Owalo, said that television is an ideal platform to market Kenya's sporting talent.
Today, sports is a big source of income. We have seen billionaires emanate from sports. So we want to laud this partnership because it gives our youth the opportunity to showcase their talent far and wide across the borders.
You are on the right track. Promote football. Everybody's crying out for us to start winning trophies, but to do that we must be patient with skills and work hard to build the youth programs, but we must also promote our game through television.
KBC's acting managing director Samuel Maina said that the FKF Premier League property is in line with KBC's tag of being a true sports partner.
KBC is very proud to finally get this right through other various breathtaking programs that Kenyans will be enjoying. The FKF Premier League is icing on the cake for us, and I know all our fans will be delighted about this achievement.
FKF President Nick Mwendwa announced that women's leagues and the lower divisions will also benefit from the deal.
More than that is that we'll be able also to help our Women Premier League to pay for referees for them. They've been struggling. And also our NSL referees will be paid from this kitty.
For Prime Edition, I am Daniel Wahome.
Some great news there for Kenyan football lovers. Now, legislators are divided over the planned sale of 11 non-profit making and debt-stricken state corporations. While a section of MPs want the government to find alternative solutions to bailing out the struggling corporations, those allied to the government say the law under the Privatization Act permits the government to dispose of any assets it deems fit. They dismissed claims that the proceeds from the sale would be used to fund other ventures.
As the National Treasury seeks public views on the sale of 11 state corporations, with various agencies threatening to move to court to block implementation, members of Parliament on Thursday expressed divergent opinions over the matter. A section of legislators want the government to find alternative ways to salvage the struggling state corporations, arguing the sale is not the solution to issues affecting state corporations.
And when you look at the way the issue of oligarchs, this is how oligarchs come about. Because people from outside will come and buy your wealth at a throwaway price. When they come and buy your wealth at a throwaway price, and this progressively continues to many other strategic interest institutions or entities that were parastatals, then eventually you go back to some kind of a colonization. Because if you do not have an economic independence in your country as a society, as an indigenous people, then of course you're there still in some form of neocolonialism.
They instead advocated for the sacking of office holders, running down the corporations.
Leaning on some of these rogue officers who are overseeing backdoor selling and privatization of the properties that are with the members of the public.
Individuals within Kenya who are actually in advantaged positions like treasury and ministries and other places can easily see what is going down and what can be easily be sold out. So like the Uchumi case is a matter of not even an international body coming in, but they are just our own players who replaced themselves after 1963 when we got independence as the new bourgeoisies, and they are the ones who are actually going for the property, including Uchumi.
Some of them have served many governments. They have been here throughout, but they have become cartels, and we cannot allow.
Majority Leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, defending the planned sale, arguing Privatization Act clearly outlines procedures to dispose of government assets, either through an initial public offering or a joint venture with a strategic investor.
KICC, I'm certain, owes other government agencies money. They owe parking fees. I've seen city council of Nairobi claiming parking fees from them. Kenya Power, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, all the negative propaganda that is being propagated in line with what we have done here with the Privatization Act, Honorable Speaker, people must know, those who are propagating this negative propaganda, that government assets are being sold for a song, or there are certain deals anywhere. The law we passed is very clear on the process of divestiture.
Among corporations proposed for sale include, among others, the Kenyatta International Convention Center, Kenya Literature Bureau, National Oil Corporation of Kenya, Kenya Seed Company, and Kenya Pipeline Limited. Meanwhile, MPs from the larger Turkana and Samburu counties want border delimitation issues solved in the region to end cases of banditry. They further want financiers of banditry barred from vying for the political seats.
We want to live at the boundary of our constituency or sub-county. Please take us to the boundary so that this no-man land, we can be able to go and settle in our land where I have a title deed.
And people know, our DCI know, our intelligence know,
We need to get hold of these guys. We were told there are 2 helicopters that normally land in where we were that day. If they are known, what is this? What is really going on? Are we in a country? So we need to make sure that this comes to an end.
The committee, which is set to table its final report on insecurity in the north, will visit West Pokot County next week. For Prime Edition, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Well, that story by Gladys Mungai takes us to a first commercial break. But later on this broadcast, our conversation tonight is on film economic contribution and also the emerging trends in the film industry. That will be happening later on after business news. But first, we take that commercial break.
Kote nchini matumaini, tujitahidi, tujivunie, tuendelee.
Kenya, twende mbele. NCBA, go for it.
So a state of I'm in panic mode, I'm in confusion, I am shocked. How can he be missing? Surely, how can a grown-up be missing? How can really be missing? Of all the people, how can really be missing?
Kuna mwingine atakupigia kuambie hapo hata unaweza kosa hadi mwili yake.
When finally the search returns in negative news.
Friday morning, and they informed me that Willie's body was found.
Na kupoteza mtu through kuuliwa inakuanga chungu sana.
The feeling your colleague may have died in your place.
For Willie, it was the most crushing thing, knowing that he was not even the target, that I'm the one who was doing the case. Instead of me being the one to be targeted, he ended up being there because he was accompanying our client.
And after 6 years,
the first accused is sentenced to death in each of the 3 counts.
the Mavoko triple murder on KBC Crime and Justice.
In a world filled with uncertainty, there is one thing we can always count on: the power of compassion and generosity. Every day, families in Kenya face unimaginable challenges and hardships. They struggle to put food on the table, provide shelter for their loved ones, and access basic health care. But today, you have the power to make a difference. By just contributing 1 shilling and 50 cents from your airtime, your generosity can provide access to sanitary pads, nutritious food, clean water, education, and life-saving medical care to those who need it most. To support this cause, please tune in to your favorite radio station under the KBC umbrella for step-by-step instructions on how to subscribe. KBC Helping Hands. Together, we can make a difference and bring hope to those in need.
Tukakuja tukaambia watu wetu pesa yenye inatakikana hiyo 60,000. Tumejaribu kutafuta. Tukiambia watu wa nyumbani washughuliki. Tukiambia badada zangu wengine washughuliki. Tunajaribu kuambia Tanzania hapa tupige hizo picha. Hakuna mtu anashughulika. Kila mtu ametuachilia na dadangu. Baby kila mtu anang'ang'ana nazo hapa kukua. Hakuna mtu anataka kujua maisha yako itakuwaje kesho. Anataka kujua watoto wangu watasurvive aje. Nimeshi kutapika damu hapa tukiwaambia. Hakuna mtu anastuka. Hakuna mtu anakujenga kutuona hapa. Mimi na dadangu ndio tunaishi hapa peke yetu. Tuking'ang'ana. Dadangu ana kazi, ana mtu anategemea. Kenye tunapata msaada kidogo ndo tunakula.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. Now, stigma and discrimination against people living with HIV remains an impediment in the fight against HIV and AIDS. According to the National Syndemic Disease Control Council, CEO Dr. Ruth Masha, stigma has contributed to the upsurge of HIV, with patients shying away from accessing healthcare services. And as the global community marks the World AIDS Day this Friday, 1st of December, stakeholders now want people living with HIV treated with dignity.
Speaking during a World Pre-AIDS Day conference in Meru Polytechnic, Meru County, National Syndemic Disease Control Council CEO Dr. Ruth Masha disclosed that there were 18,400 HIV-related deaths, with 130,000 people experiencing treatment disruptions in 2022, despite the access to antiretroviral drugs.
Although we have treatment, stigma and discrimination continue to stand in the way. And there's no way we are going to treat this disease as just a health issue without bringing communities to break down the structural issues, the gender-based violence that we are seeing, sexual offenses we are seeing against children, are what we are now calling the triple threat, where the HIV is interacting with children through adolescent pregnancies as well as sexual and gender-based violence.
And with preparations to mark Friday's World AIDS Day already complete at the Kinuru Stadium, what the residents of Meru County know about the day.
Na AIDS Day ni siku yetu kubwa sana katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, ambayo tunashughulikia hao wagonjwa na tunakumbuka hata wale walikufa juu ya huu ugonjwa.
Stigma is still real. Like for me, sina job. When nikienda pale nje kutafuta job, hivi niko public, people are like, tukikuajiri sasa kwa duka yetu kweli kuna mtu atakuja kununua na wewe wanakujua uko na ukimwi. And I'm like, ukimwi haiko kwa ngozi ama iko kwa mkono ama kwa ile kazi nafanya. So the society, that way unaona the World AIDS Day inasema let community lead.
Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakumicha is expected to grace the event tomorrow.
That we are working in conjunction with the national government, county government, and the community at large. All stakeholders, churches, we are all together to fight and see that we wipe away this menace in Meru.
Based on the 2014 data, 7 counties, namely Meru, Isiolo, Tharaka Nithi, Mandera, Garissa, West Pokot and Wajir, recorded the highest numbers of HIV-related stigma cases. And as the preparations at the Kinuru Stadium in Meru County near completion ahead of tomorrow's World AIDS Day, stakeholders continue to urge members of the public to treat people living with HIV with love, dignity and respect. Doreen Arange for KBC Channel 1.
Now, close to 6,000 learners in Olympic Primary School and residents of Kibra constituency are set to benefit from a fully fledged 24-hour multi-purpose pitch speaking during the flagging of ceremony of a fundraiser walk from Mombasa to Nairobi, dubbed #488 for Kibra at the Mama Ngina waterfront. The founder of the initiative and head of Restoring Isacha Generation East Africa, Cynthia Nyamai, noted that the project will not only be a sports facility, but also an avenue for nurturing aspirations, fostering opportunities and laying a foundation for brighter future for the country through sports. The walk targets to raise 66 million shillings. Nyamai has called on well-wishers to join hands and help raise the funds to allow the completion of the pitch within the shortest time possible.
Sana sana imetoka within the members of RIG. Kwa hivyo kutoka kesho nikitembea and the rest of the team tutakuwa tunauliza watu pia watuzindikishe. Nikitembea hivi 1 kilometer, hata nyinyi kesho mkitaka kuja tukitembea pamoja mnatoa hela. Kuna watu hapa naona mko strong, mnaweza tembea. So tukitembea pia mnaitisha hela, mnaambia watu tumeni kwa hii till number. It's a project that requires all of us we work together, because tungependa hii project iishe by the end of December. When the children go back to school, they will find a new pitch. It will be a multi-purpose pitch. Wataweza kucheza rugby, football na netball on that pitch. Na pia kwa hiyo pitch tutaweka AstroTurf, because nyasi haiwezi mea. The number of the children are just too many. Na pia kutakuwa na lighting, so watoto wataweza hata kucheza mchana na usiku.
Sasa mimi kama mbunge wa Kibra, I am very, very grateful to East Africa because of their help that they are giving the community. It will be a field based not for schools only, but also for the community at large. We hope that by the end of it all, after 1 month, we'll have a complete field, knowing that after January, the students will be back to school, and we are hoping Kenyans will help us to raise the funds zile zinawezekana tujenge kiwanja.
And we wish you the very best, Cynthia Nyamai, even as you purpose to raise 66 million to build a multi-purpose pitch for the Olympic primary school and also for the Kibra residents. Now, we get right into business, and we start off with India companies might submit bids for Rivertex East Africa Limited if the government opts to open tendering to dispose of the textile farm. Indian Deputy High Commissioner to Kenya, Rohit Vawana, says a number of Indian companies have shown interest in the Eldoret-based farm, adding that recent Indian investment in Rivertex East Africa Limited has made the farm more attractive to Indian investors.
Rivertex East Africa Limited is among 11 state-owned companies that have been earmarked for privatization as the government seeks to reduce its expenditure. The National Treasury released the privatization program with the Eldoret-based company described as loss-making and reliant on government financial support. The Indian government now says Indian textile companies might submit bids for Rivertex if the government opts for open bidding. The Indian Deputy High Commissioner to Kenya says Indian companies are best placed to stabilize Rivertex East Africa Limited due to their huge capital base and standing in the global textile industry.
One more point I would like to make here is the textile and cotton and apparel industry is one of the largest employment creator in India, and so it can be in Kenya. India provides lots of training and capacity building support to Kenya, and under that capacity building support, there are possibilities of getting training, short-term training for executives and technicians in India for this sector as well.
We had about 7 operational ginneries this year. 3 new ginneries are coming up. So we have a new ginnery that is being built in Homa Bay in partnership between the private sector and the county government of Homa Bay. There's a new ginnery being built in Kwale by the Ministry of Cooperatives, and we have a new ginnery coming up in Lamu, also being built by the private sector.
This is a South Korean firm is set to open up a 4.6 billion shillings polyester manufacturing plant in Kenya in January next year.
It's called Young One Corporation. Okay. Yes, they are currently in 17 countries, in Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and the US. So we are going to become the new company, the new country in their docket.
To shore up manufacturing activities in the textile industry, the government has set aside 200 million for cotton seed distribution as it plans to increase area under cotton to 140,000 acres next year.
For us to be able to service that market, I believe that the level of manufacturing that we have today may be a little bit too low, and that's why we are very excited to have potential investors here that will help us to bridge the gap.
They were speaking during the Indian Item Expo held in Nairobi, attracting more than 60 Indian textile companies. Frederick Muki for Prime Edition.
Thank you, Frederick Moki, for that story. And it's that time we talk about the economic contribution that Kenya film industry has towards the economic growth of this country. And in studio with me, I'm joined by Timothy Owase, who is the CEO of Kenya Film Commission. And remember, the Kenya film industry has continued to witness a rapid growth. This is the picture the CEO will paint for us right here in studio. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, before we delve into the film industry, I'd like us to give us the mandate of the Kenya Film Commission.
Well, the Kenya Film Commission's mandate emanates from the key government priorities, that is the Vision 2030, and the plan, that is the bottom-up economic transformational agenda, with the view to use storytelling as a way of economic growth and social development in this country. So the Kenya Film Commission has a mandate to promote, develop, and market Kenya as a filming destination. Yes.
So what is the current state of the film industry and its contribution towards the gross domestic product?
I must say that the film industry in Kenya, or the screen industries in general, is actually a projected area for growth because of its potential to develop and champion manufacturing, agriculture, and all other sectors of our economy. In the recent past, the Kenya Film Commission has deliberately partnered with the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics to do what we call mapping of the industry, so that we are able to tell what is the exact impact the film industry is likely to put on the Kenyan market, given in terms of job creation, economic contribution in terms of how much we contribute to the GDP, as well as we want to know what is the value of investment into the film industry in general.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, looking at what maybe has been, this film industry has been contributing in the past, where are we right now as where you sit as the CEO?
Okay. Of course, to start with, let's appreciate the fact that for a very long time, the screen industry was never appreciated. And I'm saying this based on how the outlook has been in the entire African continent. In Africa, we only have two countries that currently have the satellite accounts. That is South Africa and now Kenya. The Kenyan satellite account was actually launched 1 day ago. That is by Kenya Film Commission and the Kenya Bureau of Statistics, supported by the German government. The main aim as to why we came up with this is so that we are able to put a specific value to the film industry in Kenya. And projecting into the future, we are very clear that the potential of this industry is huge. We are able to create thousands, if not millions, of jobs in this country. And that's why the government is very keen, through Kenya Film Commission, to champion various programs that are actually geared towards promoting the development and growth of the sector.
And we'll talk about the satellite account later on more, but I'd like to know the film industry's significance in the economy. It is believed to be high, but with respect to what maybe constitutes the industry in terms of value addition, which you've mentioned, trade, investment, and employment is lacking. How are you addressing this as stakeholders?
Well, when you look at the Kenya Film Commission's mandate, we are addressing all these challenges by way of key programs that we have initiated. That is building capacity in terms of skills, because we would like to be able to tell stories that can be sold at a value. We also want to bring out high quality stories. Remember, when you look at the KICA Act, Kenya Information and Communication Act of 2013, it dictates that all free-to-air channels, including KBC, you should be able to air 40 to 60% local content. I believe this cannot be achieved if we do not have local producers who are able to tell stories that are of very high quality and stories that will be appealing to the local consumers. Of course, not only are we focusing on having our stories consumed locally, but we would like our stories to be consumed globally. So Kenya to the world and the world to Kenya through storytelling. And we do this through various programs, namely establishing of film hubs in counties, which are facilities that are aimed at providing filmmakers an avenue to be able to access production equipment so that they are able to tell stories that can be consumed by various consumers across the country and beyond. Other than that, the Commission is also rolling out and executing what we call capacity building workshops through residencies as well as county workshops, master classes, and all these are aimed at upscaling specific skills within the industry's value chain so that we are able to sell our content and produce content that is appealing to each and every segment of target. Of course, other than that, we're also keen to see to it that we provide the right information through the FIS account. The satellite account is aimed at providing us with the data that will enable government, decision makers, legislators, filmmakers, and consumers to be able to track the trends and also come up with key interventions that will help the growth of the industry.
Okay.
Yes.
But when you compare the Kenyan film industry to Nigeria or South Africa, we are lagging behind. Maybe you can tell us, maybe from your past experience being the CEO of Kenya Film Commission, what can we learn from our past experiences? I know the film industry is growing and picking up at a high trajectory.
I may not agree with you that we are lagging behind because we are just at our level. The Kenyan film industry is an emerging industry, and it has shown a huge potential to the level that we are able to produce stories that can be able to go to the globe. Remember, 3 years ago, Kenya didn't have even a single film on international platforms. Today, we have about 20 films that are featuring on international platforms. That is just to show that already we are making strides as a country as we tell our stories. In addition to that, we have very talented young people in this country, young people who are not interested in working between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but they are willing to work between 5 p.m. to 5 a.m., disrupting the whole ecosystem of working in a way that they are able to tell their stories, apply technology, and also meet the global demand for content. Remember, with the influx of technology, today there is a huge demand of consumers who are looking for good content. And good content can only emanate from producers who are keen to undertake research, get to know exactly what consumers are looking for, and tailor making their content to suit those expectations. Yes.
And as you've mentioned, technology has revolutionized how filmmakers and content creators tell stories. But then again, from where you sit, how are you supporting the youth with acquiring digital tools?
Through training, we are supporting the film industry in general. We recognize the fact that we have experienced filmmakers and we have emerging filmmakers. There are those who are coming from universities and joining the industry. We have to be able to nurture them, provide them opportunities for placement so that they are able to gain necessary experience to be able to join the industry fully. Other than that, for any screen industry to thrive, we must be able to have what we call film funds. Funding is critical to enable producers to tell their stories. The Kenya Film Commission currently has a film empowerment program, which is purely a funding program that is geared towards supporting local film industry in terms of storytelling. Other than that, the Commission has also mapped out over 40 locations in the country, in 29 counties, so that we are able to position Kenya as a premier filming location. As we market Kenya as a filming destination, we must be able to have real capacity in terms of facilities, be it production studios, as well as skilled manpower. So all these are key priority areas. And as I said earlier, film hubs are also another key areas of intervention that the Kenya Film Commission has deliberately put down so that we are able to provide emerging filmmakers at counties to be able to provide us with the room to access green screens, cameras, production sets, sound, and all other facilities that will enable them to tell their stories. In addition to this, we have programs like My County, My Story. Remember, we have 47 counties. Out of these 47 counties, if each county was to produce a story every year, we'll have so many stories for us to take to the world. And that will primarily take Kenya to the world and the world to Kenya through storytelling. Yes.
Okay. A report by UNESCO in 2021 on the African film industry highlighted the trends, the challenges, and opportunities for growth. I'd like you to maybe give us a picture of these trends and challenges and opportunities for growth in the film industry.
There are huge opportunities for growth. One of them being an area of incentivizing the film industry practitioners. We would like to see more international productions taking place in Kenya, for example. And to be able to have this happening 100%, we need to incentivize international producers so that we catalyze key productions into our country. At the same time, the Kenya Film Commission acting as a catalyst for growth in the country, we would like to also see local stories being produced and we being a catalyst, providing local filmmakers an opportunity to be able to invest more into the industry. And to do this, we are working with the key government agencies to see to it that we provide filmmakers with tax breaks when they're importing equipment, and also incentives or rebates that will be able to enable filmmakers to tell their stories at a much ease way of doing business.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll cut you short. We'll come back to this conversation in a few. We'll take our second commercial break, and later on we'll still continue with the contribution of the film industry towards the growth of this economy.
From the dawn of independence to the present day, Kenya has journeyed with strength and determination. We celebrate Kenya at 60. As we mark this incredible milestone, KBC and Jamboree present an unforgettable celebration of culture, music, and awareness. Immerse yourself in a musical journey featuring global sensations like the mighty Itals and Everton Blender, all the way from Kingston, Jamaica, alongside our incredible homegrown artists. But it's not just about the music. Join us for a day of cancer awareness and a fun-filled family day, including horse riding, bouncing castles for the kids, and a special tree planting exercise. Save the dates as we tour a county near you. Ticket information is available on our social media handles at Jamboree Festival KE. Join the celebration, feel the rhythm, and make memories that will last a lifetime. Happy birthday, Kenya.
A man's death has condemned them to live a rivalry because of their father.
He killed my brother. He stayed with his land and with his wife. Or did you forget how my brother Tulio Irazabal died?
I dare you to kiss me again.
What we feel is too strong to just let it go.
Your wife is cheating on you. Shut up! Who is your lover?
Tell me why last night you lied to your boyfriend, Amparo.
Explain to me what you were doing outside our house, kissing the veterinarian.
I have fallen in love with another man.
3 love affairs that will be challenged. The 3 will manage to get ahead. Their magnificence, their passion and strength. Las Bandidas.
Congratulations, George.
I voted for you to be given that position.
Of course, she's the one who voted for me.
I was there the whole day. I did not hear your name come up.
Bad attitude begets bad attitude. Well, buy something to eat on our...
On your way to where? From a shareholder at J&J to a mere employee. You will what? I'm barely 48.
Pia is old enough to be your dad.
Says a deadbeat father.
I want to be your business partner.
You come crying to the same father. You're trying very hard to work against. Nitakunawa mikono very soon.
Are you sure this is going to work after everything that has happened?
Yeah.
Unani discuss. Stop using your child. Any promotion gani wamekupatia mpaka inakupatia confidence hivi?
Welcome back. You're still watching Prime Edition, and in studio with me, Timothy Owase, the CEO of Kenya Film Commission. And we pick up from where we left off on what the government is doing to support Kenya Film Commission in developing a vibrant film industry.
We would like to see a vibrant film industry because, one, when we have a fully fledged film industry in Kenya, then we'll be meeting the key aspirations of this country. That is job creation, promotion of cohesion and integration through storytelling. In addition to this, we find that the value of storytelling it cannot be compared to any other industry because we are able to attract more tourism into our country. We are able to market Kenya as a tourism destination, an investment destination. And in addition to that, we are able to get Kenya to the world and the world to Kenya. So this industry is a very critical industry that I'm rallying all Kenyans to support and also to support the government initiatives of seeing to it that we are on the pole position in championing a vibrant film industry in Kenya.
Okay.
Yes.
What are some of the tax incentives that KFC is proposing to grow the film industry? Because when I compare with South Africa, they have 35% rebate on qualifying South African production expenditure.
On tax incentives, this is a program we are currently working on, and I believe by the time the government will be launching the tax incentives for Kenya, the incentives for Kenya will be very competitive as compared to any other, because we like to be number one in Africa as far as filming destination is concerned.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about the satellite account, which you've recently launched. I want to know the impact of this satellite account and also to establish the film industry direct contribution to GDP. And also there is somebody here from on our Twitter page at KBC Channel 1 asking in simple words, what does having a FISA account, that is this satellite account, mean for me as a practitioner?
Very well. The main reason as to why the Kenya Film Commission came up with the FISA account is so that we are able to measure the impact of the film industry in Kenya. To a specific practitioner who would like to know how FISA will be able to help, as we launch this particular account, what we are saying is that we are now going to undertake a continuous research, and on an annual basis, we should be able to provide data that will be able to enable legislators, policymakers, the government in general, planning systems, as well as practitioners to be able to actually make certain decisions. As a practitioner, we should be able to provide you with information as to what are the consumption trends, what are consumers looking for in terms of content, and from that you can be able to make decisions in form of what kind of content will suit the market that you are targeting. So you'll be able to do proper targeting, and you'll be able to also make the right choices, budgets, based on what is being sought by the consumers. Other than that, we are also keen to get to know how much we are actually contributing to the exchequer. Other than the contribution, we want to know what are the numbers in terms of how many people are we able to employ, how many women are in the industry, how many practitioners are actually graduating from university to join the industry, and what are some of the needs that we need to actually support the industry in terms of investment requirements. This will be able to help a big deal in terms of decision making. So this is a very noble component for any industry to thrive. Remember, we are able to tell how many tourists visit Kenya every year, and this emanates from the satellite account for tourism. In agriculture, there is an account for the environment and also now for the film industry. So this is a critical step that the Kenyan government has taken so that we are able to actually position Kenya in terms of numbers, and this will be able to help us in terms of competitiveness.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how will this FISA account maybe position us globally in terms of creativity, information, or rather innovation and economic strength?
Of course, from the data that we collect every year, it will help us in terms of planning and key decision making. For example, if we are able to tell what are some of the key gaps that we have, then we may be able to direct our planning towards those particular gaps so that we can be able to plan and fill those particular gaps that we may have identified. In addition to that, it is also paramount that every year, whenever we launch or we set out the results of the FISA account, we should be able to also come up with the priority areas. So the FISA account is going to provide the country in general with an opportunity to evaluate its progress in terms of promoting, developing, and also attracting investment into the industry.
Okay.
Yes.
There are a few questions coming in through our Twitter account, and I would like to read some. There's one who is asking, where can the movies that were funded by the Empowerment Fund be found?
Well, the Empowerment Fund, it's not really a fund, it's a program that Kenya Film Commission came up with. And this financial year, we have funded 22 companies to produce 22 films. And these films are to be premiered shortly. Currently, they are in the final stages. And all I want to encourage the person who is asking that question is that we are encouraging Kenyans to be able to watch Kenyan movies. We premiere a number of these films in local cinemas. For example, Diamond Anchor Cinema, among others. We would like to encourage Kenyans to go out every day, watch films, not for free, but spend some money on this so that we are able to empower these filmmakers. But to access these films, through festivals, Kenya Film Commission is championing this. We have what we call My County, My Story, the Real County Film Festival. All these films are being screened in these particular festivals. So feel free to reach out to Kenya Film Commission through our social media tools so that you get all this information.
Okay, as we come to a close, last question. There's one who's asking, what is K Film Commission doing to compensate the former Kalasha winners because they have not been compensated, and how do we ensure that this does not happen again as we wrap up?
That's a very good question, and I'll respond to it by saying that Kenya Film Commission deliberately came up with a scheme for rewarding and compensating Kalasha winners. And the winners of last year's Kalasha are not exceptional. They'll be compensated in the spirit of Talanta Hela, which is all about talent and money. All we are saying, your talent should be rewarded 100%, and we are keen to ensure that no one is left behind. So the questioner, if you haven't received your payment, please just know that your money is safe. You'll be able to receive your check, and very shortly.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Timothy Owase, who is the CEO of Kenya Film Commission. And as you've heard, your money is there. this viewer who is watching us from Kilifi saying, as you've heard from the CEO, that your money is there and you'll be able to access it soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that is 8 from him, and now we move on to the stories of the day, and later on we'll also be having the sports update with Daniel Wahome. But now we look at the investment solutions here in the country, where Kenyans have been encouraged to embrace the use of digital technologies such as artificial intelligence and automation that offer broadened choices of financial products tailored to suit their needs. Capital Markets Authority CEO Wycliffe Shamaya says this will enable consumers, with misleading information from the internet.
Latest data indicates that more than 63% of Kenyans rely on the internet and technology for their savings and investment needs. This, however, makes them vulnerable to cyber attacks from hackers, therefore prompting the need to address concerns about data protection and information security online. To help avert this, industry players have been urged to adopt innovative tech solutions that will work to enhance mobility and ensure that information is sent to clients quickly and in a secure manner.
Because of technology, those processes have been simplified. We now are talking about IPOs and, of course, issuances of different securities.
With the growing reliance on digital platforms for convenient, accessible, and tailored financial services, Consumers were also implored to familiarize themselves with financial policies.
The dynamic interplay between the elements I mentioned, savings, technology, and capital markets, has the potential to reshape the financial landscape, drive economic growth, and empower individuals actively to participate in capital markets.
Technology accelerates the rate of financial inclusivity, ability to save, through secure platforms which are already approved and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority.
Investors are being encouraged to harness the power of technology in their industries as a means to adapt to emerging market trends in the investment portfolio. Reporting for Prime Edition, my name is Nduta Mokami.
Mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
Mungu awabariki sana.
Ni wengi wanakushukuru bila hata wewe kufahamu.
Niliona Mungu wa ajabu ameshuka.
Ni wengi wanaokuaminia.
Imejaa, imebaki, yani hamtasa.
Ni wengi wanaokuombea ushindi.
Hawa ndio niachiwe na mama yao wakati aligojeka kwa muda.
Ni wengi unaowagusa kwa kuwapa afueni na imani ya maisha.
Asante na Mungu akubariki pia.
Ni wengi unawatembelea.
Through hii program ndo tunajua vitu zingine.
Na imani yako inawapa amani.
Akaaga juu ya kansa.
Ushindi wako ni wa wengi.
Roma niendanga, Roma.
Asante mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
Congratulations, George. I voted for you to be given that position. Of course, she's the one who voted for me. I was there the whole day. I did not hear your name come up.
Bad attitude begets bad attitude. Well, buy something to eat on our...
On your way to where? From a shareholder at J&J to a mere employee. You will what? I'm barely 48.
Pia is old enough to be your dad.
Says a deadbeat father.
I want to be your business partner.
You come crying to the same father. You're trying very hard to work against. Nitakunawa mikono very soon.
Are you sure this is going to work after everything that has happened?
Yeah.
Mnani discuss. Stop using your child. Ini promotion gani wamekupatia mpaka inakupatia confidence hivi?
Natarisha maisha ya watoto kwa kuwanyima chakula na mahitaji yao kila siku.
Okay, nitaresa umesema 7 ni mwaka ama ni last year? Mwaka huu. Wewe unafungangwa diapers?
Mimi hapana fungwa mimi simu.
Very good. Kuna yako ilipiwa hata moja?
Hapana.
Hakuna. Get out.
Unasikia
hapo ni dia wax siku moja itatolewa.
Wewe hata nikatolea tu mshipa mara moja. Hakuna hata takachapa. Who take the munyonyi and start to nyonyas?
Hiyo maziwa iko na lot of vitamins. Ndio naona uso wako imebadilika. Ukakuwa very healthy.
Paka kama ya kitambi.
Sio kama kitambi amekuwa naye.
Wow.
Welcome back. You're still watching Prime Edition. Now, the Conference of Parties, or COP28, has made major breakthrough on its first day, with members agreeing to set up the much-delayed Loss and Damage Fund. The facility has been in the offing for more than 25 years, will be hosted by the World Bank on an interim basis for 4 years. An independent secretariat will manage the fund with representation from both the developing and developed world. O'Brien Kimani is attending the COP28 in Dubai and brings us to us the speed with the latest.
After more than 11 months of planning, the COP28 finally got underway here at the Dubai City Expo in the city of Dubai, United Arab Emirates. On the first day of this meeting, more than 190 countries agreed to set up the Loss and Damage Fund after more than 30 years of planning and waiting.
Our task is not only about negotiating text or putting words on paper. It is about improving lives. It is about people. From the students I met in Bangladesh to the young entrepreneurs I saw in Nairobi, to indigenous communities I visited in the Amazon basin. All of us want and need the same things: clean air, clean water, healthy food, economies, and opportunities for ourselves and our families.
The other issue that is expected to come up for review here is a stock take exercise, which is going to look and assess the progress made in the last 7 years of the Paris Agreement, and of course look at the gaps and see where to improve going forward.
We are taking baby steps, stepping far too slowly from an unstable world that lacks resilience to working out the best responses to the complex impacts that we are facing. We must teach climate action to run, because this has been the hottest year ever in humanity. So many terrible records were broken, and we are paying the price with people's lives and livelihoods. We're standing at a precipice, facing the global stocktake.
But for civil society organizations, they're saying that this is far from over. They want a doubling of climate financing.
This is very insignificant because what we have already on the table as far as adaptation finance is concerned is very negligible. So if we only go by doubling it, it will not help Africa. We are asking for more than doubling of adaptation finance. We will have to meet the adaptation needs of the continent.
Just recently in March, the IPCC released a report, and they say we are far much behind on reaching the ambition of 1.5 degrees Celsius. We need to cut emissions. We need really to address the issues of adaptation and resilience to our communities which are suffering the impacts of climate change manifested by the floods you are seeing in Kenya, Northeastern Province, and those others.
We are tracking the happenings here at the Dubai Expo City where the COP28 is underway. We are here until the end, and of course we'll be giving you more details as they trickle in. O'Brien Kimani from Dubai.
Thank you, Brian, for that update. Now, transport operations will be disrupted in different parts of the country tomorrow as government agencies will carry out a crackdown on illegal PSV vehicles. Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen says the crackdown will target private vehicles operating as public service vehicles in a bid to reduce accidents during the festive period. The Ministry of Transport and Roads will from this Friday crack down on private vehicles operating as public service vehicles. Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen says the crackdown is meant to weed out illegal PSV operators during the festive period.
Still in your interest to ensure that those who are on the road are actually the right people. Of course, not all matatu owners have the discipline ya kujichunga hao wenyewe. Na hiyo shida inatokea ni mtu anataka kuchukua benefit ya haraka ya kusema ni Christmas, wala tuingize driver yoyote afanye hiyo kazi. We will be vigilant. We will also ensure that these standards are applied.
He urged investors planning to start transport business during the festive season to seek relevant documentation from NTSA. This as installation of intelligent cameras and variable traffic lights in 10 spots across the country will be installed in 3 months' time.
The road going to Beru, the road from Mombasa to Malaba, and the road to Namanga, a few places that we have chosen. That will be the pilot project. Ultimately, before the end of this first term of this government, I would like a properly operating camera system across the nation that will monitor speed, overlapping, and other behaviors. And we will not need to take you to court.
In further regulation to streamline the transport sector, Judiciary will set up a special court to handle insurance cases.
Your President has requested me that we may need to think about establishment of insurance courts in this country. So that we know that this is an insurance court, this is the judge, and we can hold them accountable. we can also work towards training and capacity building of those judges to be able to understand and build their sector.
Premium Bank Kenya has launched a new branch in Eastleigh in Nairobi, Kenya. Speaking at the launch, Osman Duale, CEO of Premium Bank Kenya, said the expansion is in line with the bank's commitment to provide accessible Sharia-compliant banking services to the growing Kenyan economy while supporting long-term investment for the growth and development of businesses. He said there is a growing demand for Islamic banking products as it offers a more robust and sustainable means of accessing credit.
We have provided an enabling environment. We first started with restructuring our infrastructure, the roads, to create an enabling environment for people who want to do business.
We have specifically designed and tailor-made Islamic products that meet, their requirements, such as the products that we call, the diminishing musharaka and the murabahas and other, Sharia-compliant products.
Entrepreneurial spirits that thrives here and dreams the aspirations of individuals seeking to build a better future, and the businesses that contribute to the economic pulse of this area.
Now to Homa Bay County, where the county government, in partnership with the Habitat for Humanity Kenya, are set to construct 20 housing units, schools, and rehabilitation of water sources. Homa Bay County Governor Gladys Wanga says a project worth 30 million shillings will benefit residents in the informal sector across in Homa Bay County.
The 91 million shilling housing project in Homa Bay County is set to build houses for vulnerable families, rehabilitate water, train women and the youth on brick making, with a target of creating sustainable habitat in the county.
To ensure that we are looking at different areas of engaging, one being in terms of looking at providing housing for the vulnerable in the society, in the community. The second area that we are looking at is working alongside her team to identify those areas where we can actually provide even basic services over and above beyond the four walls.
The MOU will also see residents get trainings on land tenure in a bid to reduce incidences of land fraud.
Old women, widows come to us all the time, desperate because people are taking away the land that they are supposed to even live on, leave alone even farm. Even their houses are being removed from where it is so that other people can grab that land. So that's a very, very critical aspect.
We're working closely with Her Excellency and her team to ensure that we actually work alongside partners like LSK and FAO to actually engage, to start sensitizing the community about how they can go about the succession issue and actually acquiring and start owning titles.
Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga says her government will seek more partnerships to address housing deficit and construction of modern units that can withstand shocks such as the current El Nino rains.
We are having serious challenges as Homa Bay with floods, and this is because we are downstream. It is one of the discussions. We will move forward to see what kind of long-term solutions, so that not every day we are trying to run with relief food and relief. It is not enough.
Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
Now, smallholder women farmers in semi-arid regions are undergoing a 9.2 billion shillings World Bank funded climate smart agriculture training. The project targets to train women on modern vegetable farming techniques to mitigate against the current El Nino and the expected drought season next year.
The Climate Smart 3-year project initiated in 2021 under the Association for Strengthening Agricultural Research in Eastern and Central Africa also aims at cushioning small-scale farmers from the adverse effects of the current heavy rains in most parts of the country.
The income they get is more, and the yields are sustainable. All year round, they are getting a lot of money. the production is high. They are food. It is a food security.
Gillian Barungi, the program officer at the association, said that women farmer groups are being trained on how to enhance their utilization of climate-smart agriculture technologies in adapting to climate effects, including El Nino rains.
Which is very timely to be able to ensure that even when the El Nino rains are happening, these farmers are able to apply some of the climate-smart agriculture technologies that have been produced by the research institutions like CALRO, and they are able to increase their productivity even amidst these challenges.
The shade net is used to address those major problems in climate-smart agriculture. That is evaporation of direct sunlight, moisture conservation, and addressing the issue of predators, which are birds.
The program will also see the women undergo training on accurate reading of weather patterns digitally in a bid to de-risk agriculture.
After training them, we tell them to each farmer from the group to go and implement and also train others so as to uplift their livelihoods.
The World Bank program also aims at sustaining livelihoods in semi-arid areas through women empowerment.
Now to our weekly segment, Magical Magical Scenes. We focus in, it is a place where elders converge for crucial meetings on matters affecting the Turkana people. It is also where official cultural event of the county of Turkana takes place. Tonight on Magical Scenes, we highlight Ekale's Center in Lodwar, which is among key attractions in Turkana County.
Welcome to Ekale's Center, Lodwar, Turkana County. The culture of the people of Turkana is evidently rich and colorful. The Ekale's Center, having drawn its name from two ostriches, has symbolic significance to the communities in Turkana.
Ekales, which is the ostrich, is used as a symbol to classify the Turkana people. And we have two classifications. We have the Ngimor and we have Ngirisai. So Ekales as an ostrich gives the Turkana people an identity.
The ostrich is described as the most valued wildlife for the people in Turkana.
Even if you are a foreigner from outside the country, it is always good to identify yourself with one of them. Are you an Erisite, Hori, Emorut? Yes. We have the male ostrich called Ekales Lokapel. And the other one, which is the brown is called Nakopor. Nakopor is the female ostrich. And if you look at the feathers that I'm putting on here, they symbolize for the female. It does not really mean I am a female, but it only implies that I represent Ekales Nakopor.
The way of life among the communities in Turkana is best described in the manyatas at Ekales Center, from artifacts used during the Stone Age period to clothing.
This is Ebur, and this one is a special one for serving the husband of the family. And we use the akalaboch, our traditional serving spoon. So you get some meat from here and you put in the bowl, which is atubwa, and you serve to your children. Apankach and akurum is, the akurum has got the traditional cup, which is called ibole or ikulume. Ibole or ikulume. So you put your milk or water like this, then you drink, clean, then you fix like this.
The Ekales Center is also known for hosting meetings that make critical decisions on issues affecting the people in the region. The elders in Turkana converge at this place for deliberations and traditional practices for improved coexistence of the communities in Turkana.
And those days, there was a song that was composed to signify that this decision has been made and it is final. And this is the song. Oh, na tuliangoria parakini ne to nengezia kiporo egura na kesa ngimorungi chachak.
Irene Nchuma Odib, magical sense in the county of Turkana.
Oh, na tuliangoria parakini ne to nengezia kiporo egura na kesa.
Cheza Loto Moto. School fees ya msichana imemalizwa.
Loto Moto. May the Almighty God bless you. Keep on doing the right thing.
Cheza Loto Moto. Shinda pesa moto moto.
There is for Deen, Al-Islam, religion with Allah since time began.
Uislamu umejengwa kwa nguzo tano. Kwanza ni shahada, ya pili iqamati swala, kusimamisha swala, wa itai zaka, na kutoa zaka, wa saumi Ramadhan, na nguzo ya 4 kufunga Ramadhan, na nguzo ya 5 wa hajjul baiti llahi liman istata ilayhi sabil.
The stage is set for a showcase of young talents as Kenya hosts the Sekafa Under-18 Championship from the 25th of November to 8th of December in Kisumu and Kakamega. Kenya, Sudan, Rwanda, Somalia, Zanzibar, South Sudan and Uganda are battling for the title in the 2-week tournament. The group phase matches are scheduled 25th of November to 1st of December. Then the semi-finals will be played on 5th of December and the final on 8th of December, all in Kisumu. Catch the matches live on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Prime Edition Sport. The draw for the National Talanta Hela Under-19 football tournament has been conducted, beating 16 boys and girls teams pooled in 4 groups of 4 teams each. The national finals are set to kick off from December 3rd to the 12th and will be played across 4 venues. Bernard Okum with the report.
Stage is now set for the inaugural National Talanta Hela football tournament. According to the draw held Thursday at Talanta Plaza in Nairobi, 16 teams in both the boys and girls category were split into 4 groups of 4 teams. The boys pool A consists of Garissa, Kericho, Vihiga and Homa Bay, while Group B brings together Nyeri, Baringo, Kisumu and Nyamira. The girls pool A will see Kakamega face off with Kwale, Busia and Nandi, while pool B draws Wajir, West Pokot, Homa Bay and Kisii. At the conclusion of the group phase, 2 top teams from each group will advance to the round of 16. Preliminary matches are set to be played at Kirigiti, Jamhuri Grounds, Moi Kasarani, with the final set to be held on December 12th at Nyayo National Stadium, where the winner will pocket 5 million shillings.
I spent time at the Council of Governors to get our governors and the county governments to be part of this. And I'm really pleased that the counties were able to buy into this. We have collaborated very closely from the county to the regional championships.
The tournament, part of Talanta Hela initiative, seeks to offer upcoming footballers a platform to showcase their talents as well as their abilities and also nurture and monetize them. The draw followed the successful conclusion of the inter-counties playoffs in Nyeri, which brought together the first runners-up from the regional finals, vying for the available 4 national slots.
This year we started with this football tournament. And I can tell you, even before we play the finals on December 12th, this program has already scored incredible success.
Now, Athletics Kenya, in collaboration with CPF Financial Services, has launched the Mwana Riadha Pension Initiative that seeks to raise funds for active and retired athletes in a voluntary retirement benefit scheme. Active athletes will contribute to the Mwana Riadha pension plan, while the endowment fund will cater for retired athletes in need.
The Mwana Riadha initiative goes beyond merely addressing the immediate financial needs of athletes and is a strategic step towards building a foundation for a financially secure future. By leveraging various channels and activities, including a series of events and sporting activities, the initiative aims to raise funds and garner support from corporate entities and key stakeholders within the government of Kenya. It is an individual pension plan registered by the Retirement Benefits Authority for active athletes to contribute towards their retirement. Either each athlete shall voluntarily contribute to the scheme regularly or with one-off contributions that may arise from earnings.
A scheme that offers you some fallback, some comfort is very important. And that is why as government we are supporting it fully. And urging all athletes to make sure that you're part of this, become part of this program. And we are going to mobilize corporates and other partners to support this fully.
So whoever is a member of Athletics Kenya, you are a member. You can register as a member of this scheme, including officiating officials, not only coaches, all the family members of athletics, because we call ourselves Athletics Kenya family.
When we are shining out there, we earn a lot. Everybody else want to associate with us, and everybody want to get part of that we earn. But later, when we start going down, no one want to be related with us, because none of us want to be related by somebody who looks like a failure.
On the other hand, endowment fund is established by Athletics Kenya to support retired athletes to meet medical costs and in dire situations while providing a stipend for regular upkeep. Nora Mwangi for Prime Edition.
Now, Kakamega Karate Club has formed a junior club to train and nurture young talents of children who are interested in mastering the sport. The Junior Karate Club targets children from the age of 5 years and above who will be engaged during the school holidays.
The chairman of the club, Wilson Mutende, said they are teaming up with parents and institutions of learning to groom young karatekas who can competitively win national competitions and even the international encounters. He said they will hold karate clinics from next year in a bid to popularize the sports in primary schools, secondary schools, TVET institutions, colleges and even universities.
And as karatekas, we thought it was important for us to bring kids on board so that we nurture. The emphasis is to nurture talent, starting with the small children. Reason being, it is very easy to nurture a small child.
The Secretary General of Kakamega Karate Association, Christopher Ouma, said they will unveil the first of its kind junior karate competitions by next year, December, once they recruit many karatekas in the category.
Kakamega County Karate Association hatujakuwa na tournament ya watoto. Tumekuwa tukifanya tournament ya watu wakubwa kwa sababu hatujakuwa na watoto. So vile tumeintroduce, tutapeana muda ya 1 year, tutakuwa tunaanza kuhold tournaments za watoto.
Kakamega Karate Club coach Musungu Ngaira says the training of the junior karatekas fits in the competency-based curriculum in the sports category.
Karate tunasema ni kwamba ni sport ambayo mtu akianza inamsharpen kwa maisha yake all round.
A parent, James Nganga Maina, who has already enrolled his 3 children in the karate club, says he is optimistic that his 3 girls will acquire skills and also be physically fit.
Karate ni inasharpen akili ya mtu, inakupatia pia your self confidence ya kwamba unajua kitu yote ikifanyika kwa street uko na uwezo ya kujiprotect.
Now, NBA Africa has launched a new office in Kenya to support all of the league's business and basketball development initiatives in the country. The new office is NBA Africa's 5th on the continent, joining the 4 in Egypt, Senegal, South Africa, and Nigeria.
To celebrate the office opening, NBA Africa held a junior NBA clinic for 70 boys and girls aged 16 and under in Nairobi. This was presided over by 5-time NBA champion Ron Harper, NBA Africa CEO Victor Williams, Basketball Africa League President Amadou Gallo-Fall, and Michael Finley. Speaking at the launch, the stakeholders emphasized on the potential Kenyan basketball carries, expressing their intentions to further grow the game here and make it more accessible to fans and players across the country.
We want to see the local league really become very strong and competitive, where you have different teams competing for the chance to win the championship and qualify for the Basketball Africa League.
Opportunity to get more young people a chance to play the game. It'll give us an opportunity to help improve on the already really solid school structure that Kenya has through the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association and through the Ministry of Education.
They have a lot of great athletes over here that haven't had the opportunity to be in a facility. Now we're giving them that opportunity to be in a facility. They got a lot of people that are athletes around here, and you can see it. They got a lot of height, speed. And so we see the potential that they have over here.
Now, 3 FKF Premier League sides, that AFC Leopards, Kakamega Homeboys and Nzoia Sugar, have confirmed their participation in the second edition of the Lidonde Foundation Super Cup, set to be held between the 23rd and the 24th of next month at the Buhungu Stadium in Kakamega County. Lidonde, who the tournament was named after, captained both Abaluya, currently known as AFC Leopards, and Harambee Stars between 1950 and 1961, before he passed on in September 1987. Meanwhile, this year's edition has received a few million shilling sponsorship boost from 22Bet, which will go towards organizing the tournament and also the prize money. AFC Leopards were crowned the inaugural champions after edging out Nzoia Sugar 8-7 in post-match penalties at the Buhungu Stadium in July last year.
We are 22Bet for agreeing to sponsor the Elijah Lidonde Super Cup. In fact, our key objective is to nurture talent from the community teams.
And as 22Bet, as we appreciate working with communities, we are happy to join hands with the Tony Lidonde Foundation so that we can see through the number of talented players that they have been able to discover at a tender age, and we also see them through to up to their professional level.
Well, that's the sport for tonight. And as we wrap up, remember that it's a jolly day for KBC as a family. The FKF Premier League is going to be back on your screens after how many years? Let me think, from 2016, 7 years. So 2 matches a week. Njenga.
Well, Daniel, before I let you go, there's one Kenyan here who wants to know when can we start watching the FKF Premier League matches? Maybe you can just tell us when should we look out for these matches?
Well, on KBC Channel 1, we'll make the announcement. Look out, because the moment we say we are going to broadcast, it will be here on the news every day. And also remember that KBC is an exclusive radio partner for the FKF Premier League. So for 13 radio stations, we will start going full blast, and we will announce to you such that we know that 2 matches a weekend will be coming your way. So look out for that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Daniel Wahome, for that, and also for the sporting update. Indeed, it was a great honor to have you all attentive and tuned in. Special thanks to Dishon and also Maina Walimuru all the way from Mombasa. Thank you for tuning in. And for all those who made this show possible, the producer, the director, and also the cameramen and women, we thank you. That is it for me. My name is Njenga. Have a good night.
Al-Islam
Uislamu umejengwa kwa nguzo tano. Ya kwanza ni shahada, ya pili iqamati swala, kusimamisha swala, wa itai zaka, na kutoa zaka, wa sawmi Ramadhan, na nguzo ya nne kufunga Ramadhan, na nguzo ya tano wa hajjul baiti llahi liman istata ilayhi sabil.